Next, 118,000 tonnes of waste is collected in Nottingham every year. That's the weight of 23,000 adult elephants. And the pandemic could threaten our mission to create less waste. Think of all the masks, wipes and sanitiser you use to stave off COVID. Sarah Malloy is the founder of Shop Zero. Although keeping COVID safe is important, she's encouraging you to think about the environment too. She's on the line now. Good evening, Sarah. Thanks so much for joining me.
Hi everyone, hi.
First of all, the pandemic has impacted almost every aspect of life, hasn't it? What effect has it had on waste and rubbish?
Yeah, as you were saying in your introduction, I think really we have been faced with a lot more waste in our lives. We've been confined to our homes for most of the time and only going out to do shopping or maybe doing online shopping. So that's really restricted what people could do. So, for example, if you're doing your shopping, then we'd just go to one place and you'd find that if you're going to the supermarket, lots of the supermarket products are wrapped in lots of plastic and things. And if people weren't traveling, like places like my zero waste shop, where you can bring your containers for refill, people weren't venturing out so much to do that and perhaps feeling confident to do that. And also, I think a lot more of us are online shopping and there's a lot of packaging that comes along with that as well.
On the flip side, people have been at home for a long time this year. Have you noticed that people have been thinking more about what they can do waste-wise and making those decisions when they've had time to?
I'd say that they have. I think that a lot of people connected much more closely with nature than they had done previously, and maybe started to recognise the fact that we are so connected to our environment. And I think people started even looking around them and seeing a lot of the waste on the streets. I know there's been a massive increase in people litter picking. And we also saw a lot of people leaving their litter as well when things opened up too. So I find that people have come to visit me and are looking around a lot more now. Like they're popping into the shop and saying, what happens here? What do I need to bring? What kind of containers can I bring? And I always say, bring whatever containers you have, please. Bring, any plastic boxes that you have and we'll refill them. Bring those washing up bottles. Let's fill them up with washing up liquid rather than them just be wasted and potentially not get recycled.
The pandemic may have changed their attitudes around waste and rubbish and recycling. What inspired you to get into all of this?
Well, I guess it was kind of from being a young really. I was brought up in Edwinstowe, right close to Sherwood Forest. So I spent a lot of time in the forest. And also my mum was very influential in my connection with nature as well. She was a biology teacher. And I went on to study biology at university and I just got really interested in our connection with the environment and that nature knows what to do. So nature knows that things are born, they die, and then they decay back to nature. And I think that's what we've become disconnected from, really. So I was always quite keen. I've got a PhD and an MSc in kind of environment. And I was always really interested in, as a family, what we could do, like turning the lights off, walking as much as we could, buying things that were locally produced and made. And then I think I kind of woke up a little bit during the plastic crisis and thought, oh my goodness me, there's all this plastic in the world that is never ever going to go away. What can I do to help? And I started buying food in bulk myself with some friends. And then I think you showed a little film then of my first pop-ups that I did.
Oh.
So yeah, I started doing them. And I just found that people just really engaged with this and really felt the same way, that they had packaging and things at home they wanted to reuse rather than seeing it being thrown away. And I think often we're kind of starting to realise now that when we put things in our recycling bin, this doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to get recycled and made into something else. And then what we need to do is look at what we're generating at source and actually reduce the waste that we produce, at the outset. And that, again, will help with so many things. I mean, I know that in Nottingham, the City Council have committed to the carbon neutral target for 2028. And plastic's part of that and waste is a big part of that too.
Well, hopefully people have got on board some of the advice you gave there in order to make that a reality. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Sarah. Thank you.